Hi, it's WolfandStormcastle.com, and this is a tutorial on how to make a terrarium. And terrarium is a really fun project, and I actually have a lot of videos on terrarium making and a lot of stuff on my website about terrarium making. And this particular project, I'm going to show you a couple of things. I'm going to show you how to make a terrarium with the plants and all of that. But I'm also going to show you how I make this container, which is kind of neat. This is got a Lexan cover that comes off, and you make that just out of some sheets of polycarbonate, or Lexan it's called, which is kind of neat. You can buy this at a home improvement store. So, and the box is just some wood, and it's easy to build, and it's kind of unique. It's got a nice look to it. It kind of looks like something called a Wardian case, which is like a 19th century British kind of plant case that they used to have, a Wardian case. So let's launch into the tutorial on how to make a terrarium and how to make the container too. Okay, all I did was buy a piece of pine wood. This is 5.5 inches tall, and I cut 4 pieces. 2 pieces are 12 inches long, and 2 pieces are 8 inches long. And that's all we need to make the case, well, and plus the bottom. So I went ahead and drilled pilot holes in them so I could assemble it together. And then I used 8 screws to screw it all together, just like that. And you come up with your box. Simple as that. It's really an easy project. Now a thin piece of plywood on the bottom to seal it all off and make the actual case, and a lot of nails to nail it down. That's it. The box is pretty much done. Let's stain it. You should stain the inside and the outside. You should stain the inside because you want it to stay, the wood to stay preserved and not to leak out water. So now we're going to make the Lexan cover for it. I just bought these sheets of Lexan at a home improvement store, Home Depot. I just bought a bunch of them, and they're pre-cut to almost perfectly right. And I used a silicone adhesive that's made for this. You can use almost any kind of adhesive for this. And I just wanted to let you know that Lexan is pretty easy to cut. You can cut it with almost anything. I use a hacksaw here. So now cut your pieces to fit like this, and actually put them right inside the box. And we're going to glue this together while it's in the box. That helps it to stay set, so you don't have to worry about it falling apart while your glue is drying. And it's the exact right size to slide back in later. So your 5 pieces, just like this. I took the top off, and I applied a bead of silicone adhesive along the insides. See, there it is right there. It's just like caulking. Now we want it to glue all together, but not to the box, of course, so be careful. Put a bead in there. And then, you're going to let it sit and dry. And then you take it out, it'll be the exact right size for the box. See, there's the bead of silicone I got there on the upper right corner. So that's it. Let it dry, just like this. Once it's dried, take it out. Now we put in 4 small strips of wood to sit it on like a shelf. Like that, we make a shelf inside. It's 1 inch down from the top. Now we can sit the case on it correctly, right like that, elevated. And you can make this any size you want, actually, whatever you like. So now let's do the actual terrarium. Put in about 1 inch of stones. Pebbles, anything like that. This is the drainage. You want the water to come down to the bottom, and it will, because it's a terrarium, it will actually recycle itself up to the top. And then put a layer of like sphagnum moss or Spanish moss, and this helps to prevent the soil from seeping down into the stones and making a muddy mess down there. And it's like a layer of insulation. But the water will still recycle itself up through everything because of the sunlight. Okay, and we fill it with potting soil. Now, for a terrarium, African violet soil works really well. So I like to use that for my terrariums. So, fill that thing up and tamp it down. You want it to be firm. Not really, really hard, but firm. So tamp it down. And we're ready to start putting in our plants. Now, I use a thing I really like called lava rock. You get these, it's like a barbecue thing for gas grills. But I like them to make nice ornaments, make little hills or just inside the terrarium. It's kind of nice. Now planting your plants. Depot them and keep the root ball for the most part with the plant. You put a hole in your terrarium and you put the plant in that. Now I wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, the aesthetics of it. I have actually 3 layers. I have these tall plants like I'm putting in now. I have that fern, which is a medium height, and then I have some ivy that crawls along the bottom or along the soil. So that's something to think about. The placement of the plants, the colors, and the heights. You make an interesting variation there. So here we go, and in this I show you that I actually trim the root ball down a little bit on this, which is quite okay, and place it. See, so you can start to see the difference in heights. And this picture I don't show placing it, but there's the ivy right there. So I have, you know, a very nice variation in height. When you're selecting plants, try to select plants that have about the same needs for light and water, because it's an ecosystem that's closed. So, you know, you can't treat them differently. They all get treated the same. But you can experiment with all kinds of plants. Now water it thoroughly, a little bit more than you would normally water it, because you're going to lose some water and it's a closed system. If it's overwatered, you just leave the top off of it for a couple of days to let it dry out some. And if it needs water, of course, you put more water in it. So that's it. Our terrarium is done. We made our own terrarium case and everything. Lots more terrarium stuff on my website at stormleycastle.com and here on my YouTube channel. Thanks.